guys, welcome back to the Watch Mission. Today we're going to take a look at some of the watches that are out there that are kind of themed for car racing, just car enthusiasts, auto enthusiasts, those types of things. So what I wanted to do is give kind of a shout out to some of the lesser known auto themed watches out there, which means we're not going to be talking about the ones you see here. So the Seiko and the Citizen, obviously they make a ton that are out there. And most of them could probably rival what I'm going to talk about, but there's just too many of them out there for me to mention, but obviously a lot of people already know about them. The Tag, Monaco or Formula One series, the Rolex, Daytona, the Omega Speedmaster, they're all fantastic watches, and I'm not going to be able to tell you anything that you don't already know about them or haven't already seen. And I won't be talking about the Richard Mille because everyone has their opinion, and I hate it. So that's my opinion. Real quick, though, I do want to give a shout out to this guy. So if you've not followed Play Forever, this guy makes the most amazing toy cars you've ever seen. So not watch related at all. Sorry to distract, but he was already listed there in my favorites, and just thought I'd give him a shout out. But he makes amazing toys. But they're great if you want to just put them on your desk. Or give them to your kid who might be an enthusiast as well. But for me, I'm going to order one just to have on my desk. I think they're super cool. All right, so just sorry for the distraction there. Okay, the first one I'll go to here is Fairer. So this is a brand that some of you might have already heard of. I know they're making the rounds through YouTube, getting some people to review them. But I really love what they've done with their watches. They put a ton of color on theirs. So these are their automatic chronographs, and they're in the $2,000 range, but the finishing on them is fantastic. I've held a couple of them, and they're really, really nice. So for around $2,000, I know it's a lot of money to spend, but if you're, and I know the Omega, or let's just even go with the Tag, since we're talking the same kind of price around there. The Tags are kind of monochrome as far as their coloring is concerned. If you want something a little bit flashier, this is something that you should definitely look at. These are just fantastic. But if you go under, the $1,000 mark, they've got some quartz watches as well that really are finished just as well. They do a really good job there with their finishing. And these are, $625. So very cool watches if you're an auto enthusiast, and certainly deserving of a look. Next up, Mizumi. These are, I want to say, kind of a micro brand that's out there. And this one is kind of dedicated to the rough Porsche. It is kind of odd, though, because I think if you're driving a rough or roof, however you want to pronounce it, Porsche, you're probably not wearing a 600 pounds watch. You're probably going to do something a lot more expensive. But regardless, I do like the design that they have here. I think that's really cool. But and actually those seem to be sold out, even though I've heard that they're making more. But if you go to their normal site, kind of like the Ferrero that we looked at before, they have a very unique dial sets that kind of stand out from everything else that's out there. Quartz watches, but very, very good products. At $348, these are definitely ones that you should look at. A little bit higher up in the price range is Adorama. These, especially the Group B series, I think that's a really cool look. You're not going to find much of that out there. Their chronograph, which kind of gives a Tag golf kind of vibe to it. Different colors, but just kind of has that same vibe to it. And then they also have the Inter Europa series as well, which are just beautiful watches. So, these start around $1,000 up to, I want to say these are around $1,600, somewhere around there. So, a little late after the holidays for me to be given gift ideas. But if it's, if you do have someone who's a car enthusiast and you're going to go in for a gift for them, it'd be nice to do something like this versus a Tag. Going up quite a bit higher, we've got the Breitling, and this one is the Bentley British Racing Green. Breitling is one of those companies who I used to love to hate. I couldn't stand anything that they made before. I thought that they were just kind of ostentatious, just over the top. They're just bulky. I didn't care for them at all. And I think a lot of people felt that way. Their older stuff I loved. But when it came to the 90s, 2000s, it was awful. But from what I understand, they have got a new design team, and they're just making outstanding quality and really beautiful watches. What I also like about this is they didn't slap Bentley, all over the front. I think that'd be horrible. I think it is on the back. But that would be perfectly acceptable to have it on the back. But yeah, to kind of, to me, deface the front with any kind of a car brand name would be horrible. All right, next up from Frederick Constant. This is, if you don't know too much about them, it's really their finishing, their watch finishing that people rave about the most. So, this isn't so much a racer's watch when it comes to like a chronograph timer or something like that, but it's just auto themed, and it's under the $2,000 mark, so definitely worth a look there based on the quality and kind of the reviews that they've received in the past are phenomenal. And then we have Bremont, and Bremont being a British brand, they kind of went with the Jaguar theme here as well. So all their chronographs in this series kind of reference, some of the older, like the D types, the Mark IIs, the E types, and it's hard to go wrong again with Bremont's finishing. They are known to be a little pricier than everything else that's out there that is relative to their what they actually make and what they put out there. You're paying a premium, but if you've ever held a Bremont, you do have that wow factor of the finishing. They do a great job. All right, and then this one is not even out yet, but it kind of came across my radar, and it's called Trafford. So they are on Kickstarter now and then going to Indiegogo, and it is heavily themed auto watch. So you can kind of see there what they've done, but I just thought they were a very, very cool looking watch. They've kind of got the thumbs up from several of the big YouTube reviewers as far as the quality and what they see. So, if you want to support them, I think they're in the $250 to $400 range, somewhere around there. When you go to Kickstarter, their Kickstarter campaign might have just ended, so you might find them on the other platform, which is Indiegogo. But take a look, because I think this will be a company that you'll see a little bit more often. Again, it's Trafford Watch Company. And last one I'm going to bring up here is Singer. So by far, Singer automobiles are my favorite cars in the world, kind of based on the 964, 911s. And what they've done with the watches, I was kind of beside myself when I first saw these. They've got a few different variations, but this brilliant red, and I'm just not a red person, but this one I am. I mean, this is fantastic. And they basically have the chronograph all being read sort of by a single dial here, and then you read the time at 6 o'clock. So right here, you're talking it's 10:10. So these outer bezels or dials actually kind of rotate around and give you the time. But when Singer puts his name on something, you can be very sure that every single detail is going to be completely obsessed over. And these are, I think $50,000-$60,000, but I would say these are definitely going to be one of those watches where you're not just buying the brand name, you're buying just incredible quality. If you have seen Top Gear's review of Singer automobiles, like James May basically said, it's what they've done here. They haven't created a car; they created a love letter to a car. Meaning, they created something so perfect. It's like what you would describe in a love letter. That it's beyond what anyone else would actually see. So they probably did the same to these watches. I've never held one. I've found a couple of places near me, not too close, but in Pennsylvania that carry them. So I'm going to go take a look and see if I can get one in hand. Have no intention of buying, but definitely want to see one for myself. Anyway, that's what I have for today, guys. Thank you.